Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to. Well, apologies for that. We are in Russia, not Belgium, for this week. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Russian Grand Prix. The beautiful music you hear in the back is the Russian national anthem, one of the all-time great works of musical genius in the 20th century, brought to us by Alexander Alexandrov, and I believe that is personally one of my favorite anthems and one of the best anthems of all time, no matter what you believe or consider of Russia. And we are here today at this unique track, almost a street circuit with the type of short, tight track limits that you have, surrounded by walls. Severe consequences if you go off track, but in any case, it's a fun track and one that you don't often see many league races around. Apologize for the technical difficulties there as I was getting all the intros set up, but beyond that, I'm really excited to be here. Unfortunately, I am not yet currently been joined in the booth by any of my good friends and buddies, so it will just be me for the moment. Oh, I take that back. Mr. Bagels flew in from Australia and is now in here in Sochi. Myself, it's looks like a nice hot summer day right now, so I got a little sweat in my brow. Hopefully, the air conditioning can keep up with the heat.
That's right. It's hot, probably about as hot as what it is in Australia. So yeah, a good call on the classical music there. Is that your ringtone? When you wake up in the morning?
No, come on. You can't have the Russian national anthem as my ringtone. I'm an American. Come on. That's illegal.
I thought the Cold War was done and dusted, but certainly these drivers on track.
In name only. But, yeah.
In name only. Yeah, I'm happy to fly in and help you there, last minute. I don't want to leave you alone in the booth. You do already so much in this league. Lights Out Racing, in case anybody's not aware, as he is the man. He's the top dog. He's the boss. And so not only is he a racer, he's an admin, he's the chief. He also comes up and commentates, and such a brilliant commentator as you are too, sir. So very happy to have you.
Thank you very much. All right, look for someone on the hot lap here. Looks like True Knight is just rounding the final corner and sets a 1:33.4. True Knight is new to the league as of this week, so he will be playing as a reserve this evening, and I'm looking forward to that to see how he does this evening. That's someone to keep an eye on out for sure. He might be a surprise player for the podium later today. I'm not really sure of the exact tire strategy or lap times that we should be expecting to see around this circuit. I don't have the most experience, I will admit, on this track, and I will preemptively apologize as Santiago gets very loose on his hot lap, and that is going to cost him significantly, trying to get early on the power, and it's very easy to lose the rear, and it's a 1:32.8 though, so that definitely, without that spin, that definitely would have put him well up on the order, but he will probably take that as a sign of encouragement that he's still P3 despite that bit of a heart to the mouth moment.
So shout out to everybody on Twitch world there. Mellow Doc says, let it rain. Perhaps it might, perhaps it doesn't. Well, who knows? The Codemaster gods are in play. So please let us know if you do hear anything else there. Stevie Gaming, again. He has to be the #1 fan for Alliant Motorsports. I don't think he misses a race. Well, he's in this race. So let's give a little shout out to Stevie because he is a big, big supporter of all the different racing leagues of Alliant Motorsports. So let's get behind him and let's get behind these drivers as they're underway in qualifying.
I'm on board here with Itchy Soup. Looks like he maybe got a little bit. He was right on the back of the Renault there. The Renault did dive out of the way at the last moment. I don't know if that did compromise his lap. Goes P6 with a 133 flat. So that is definitely maybe a point of contention. As it looks like, let's go with on the multi-sub entity right now. He is approaching through Sector 1 on his first hot lap. Go on board with him around this basically flat out U-shaped corner, as you can see on the track map on the right hand side, turn 3. Flat out with these cars, and then you try to carry that speed. Did not disqualify him despite getting up on the curb, so a bit of a surprise. And these track limits can be extremely painful during a race because you have so many of these right hand corners. The track is made up of tons and tons of right hand corners. As you see, he goes wide there just a bit onto the, well, I'm not sure what that is, a carpet AstroTurf, I believe. So not quite the amount of grip that you might normally want to carry. Coming now.
Yeah,
Sorry?
Go ahead. The AstroTurf, because this was the Olympic Park, right, I believe, for the Winter Olympics in Russia.
This is all of Sochi is basically a sporting venue, as far as I can tell. Winter Olympics, the racetrack. Though I believe Moscow has a racetrack, which had a Grand Prix at one point. So that got good reviews. So not many people are fans of Sochi, as far as I'm aware, as multi-sub is a 132.2, so that's a great first lap for him. And he is very happy about that. Looks like Javier is going into the pits now. And I'm not seeing anyone right now out on a lap. It looks like Zola is on an out lap, but he's just exiting Sector 1. So a bit of wait for there. So a bit of a delay right now in the action.
So what an exciting races we've been having so far. It's been absolutely exhausting. It's absolutely exciting as well. So we had the World Cup there, and shout out to Mark Webber for winning that 2010 championship that, I was hoping it would really happen in real life, and unfortunately it didn't, but Mark Webber had won that. And also in the late night racing league earlier, there was some super exciting
Get in there, Lewis. Awesome race there, mate.
More and more of this exciting racing around Russia. And I've maybe been to Russia, actually, many times, I believe, during the racing across the different leagues this season. So I'm looking forward to this track. How do you feel as a driver? Is it one of those tracks that the drivers do like, or is it one of those kind of tracks that the drivers kind of like, iffy about?
Well, that's a great question. I think it really does depend on the driver. Some really love the circuit, others absolutely hate it. If 2019, I kind of like the track, as Zola is just starting his hot lap, so we'll go on board with him. But a lot on the new game, I'm not really much of a fan. Looks like we had a yellow flag there. I think someone was slowing down. A bit of a lockup as he tried to carry a bit too much speed through turn 2, although it's basically turn 1. And I believe that was his teammate that almost impeded his hot lap.
You might want to go on board with the father right now in the Racing Point, running P16, lighting up time table. Oh, no, he validated.
Oh,
oops.
He almost got some. The Racing Point nearly got some TV time.
Yeah, but sorry, father, for I have sinned by commentating cursing you. So
I'm an AlphaTauri guy myself, so I'm staying on Zola for the moment.
Zola, yeah, P13, right?
Yes.
At the moment.
Definitely has room to improve. We'll see if he's improved coming into out of Sector 2 here in a moment. Down the long straight he goes, carrying as much speed as possible. But as I was saying, this new game, I really haven't had the time or practice to put in to perfecting this track, as Big Poppy staying out of the way, and Zola doesn't seem to be going that quickly. Not 100% sure why.
Greens for Zola. Greens are good.
Yeah, but he's going so slowly. I think maybe he abandoned his hot lap. We'll see.
Yeah, as he stays out. Yeah, he should improve it. I think he probably slotted in about 6. Let's say guess here. Between
He improves by a second and a half, but there is lots more room for improvement there, taking it very, very cautiously. Looks like we have tons of drivers on the track right now. We'll see if Brander 6 also disqualified. Synth seems to be the man on the hot lap. What about Big Poppy? That's maybe trying to see where he is. Let's stay on board here with Synth for the moment. Big Poppy is further back on the track, so we can catch up with him at the end of his lap. And these corners, you want to get the power on, but you have to keep on turning left here. And you should try to swing a bit wider there to the outside to open up that corner a bit more. If you get it right, you can go flat out through that tricky little chicane. And then here, it's so easy to lose the rear coming out of the final corner. Turn 18, and he crosses the line and does improve. Goes 5th fastest. Let's go on bad. Oh, Big Poppy disqualified his lap. So everyone disqualifying their lap.
Exactly. Half a second off the race leader at the moment. So still lots of pace. With 6 minutes to go. Plenty of time to get back in the pits. Get some fresh boots on there. So as you were saying before there, Ezzy, you need more time. Yeah, you're so busy. I'm surprised you have the time to do everything you do. Well, I'd like to see you back on the track more.
Oh, you don't want to see me on the track. My race on Saturday was a bit of a disaster. You had a good look at that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happened. I think I picked up a stupid 5-second penalty at the turn 1 for a collision, which I had no part in.
Did you talk to the bosses?
I served it. I had to serve it in the pits, as Ishii Soup improves by 1,000th of a second, or 100th of a second. My apologies, and we'll stay P10 for now. Let's look to see if there's anyone else. Shiv is on the hot lap at the moment. Javier did improve. He was P18 a moment ago, and now is up into P5 as Shiv is very dicey with the rear tires. Driver's not being quite as aggressive as I might see. It's probably just hesitancy, not wanting to disqualify your lap. But you can generally use a lot more curb than I'm seeing many use, and could be more aggressive on the throttle. Yeah,
with Shiv. Shiv is also a fellow commentator. So we should not really commentate cursing. We should let him drive the pants off this car, which he's kind of doing at the moment. Personal bests are good, 33.1 for the first sector.
As Brander 6 now has the fastest lap of the race, 1:31.3. That is a blistering time. Two-time race winner, of course, this season. His teammate in the Williams took, I believe, maybe it wasn't his teammate. I'm a little bit confused who took the win last week in Belgium. As Shiv improves by 3,000ths, and that's 300ths, and that's not good enough this evening. Let's go on board with ACC4 Loss, who is diving into the pits, and the only other driver on the board is Steven.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump down and ask Jeff about what the results were, so to get back to you on that one.
Sounds good. And I don't know if anyone's can tell us what the weather is going to be for the race, but that would be some useful information as well. And just a quick shout here. It looks like we had a subscription from Ezzy9 Time. Thank you very much. He says, "Great job, Biggles." So keep up the good work, my friend.
Wait, you had a subscription for Ezzy9 Time?
Yes, he subscribed. I believe his 4th month. So kudos to him. Great job.
I know that guy.
He's a great guy.
Cool.
Race there, mate.
Now that we're talking, Multi-Sub Entity is subscribing as well. Thank you very much. Tier 1 subscription. Much appreciated, my man. Thanks for the follow, thanks for the subscription, and thanks for the views. Much appreciated.
Yeah, Multi, you are also a fellow race driver, and you have some pace there, dear. But you must be aware of also by subscribing, you don't kind of get any brownie points as well. You might, might not get any extra. Like let's say, for example, we might. Sorry, go ahead.
No. I wasn't saying. I was just watching Steven his lap went onto the curb and disqualified his lap time. But what were you saying about multi-sub?
I'm saying multi-sub there. Yeah, we might oversee the car when it's in Parc Fermé to. We might just ignore the extra fuel or the extra little little parts or gadgets, whatever you might have to your car. Well, there you go. By subscribing, we might overlook that in the future, shall we say?
I thought if you subscribed, you got a special hug from Biggles. I thought that was the.
No, they get a free shot at running me over in the pit lane.
Oh, that's even better, if we're being honest.
No.
As we're on board here with True Knight, just coming out of the turn 10 in Sector 2, near the end of Sector 2, that long DRS straight. Well, it's a straight, but there is a turn two turns in the middle of it, and a very difficult little corner here. You round turn 12, and that disqualifies his lap. Carried too much, tried to cut that curve a bit too much, and that was the end of that. I'm looking to see, looks like Big Poppy is now on a lap himself, improves through Sector 2 by 0.04 of a second. So he has a shot to move up into P6 for sure, if he can keep it above. He's only 200ths down from Addy Strike. Excuse me.
So, yeah, I'm looking at the driver standings right now. As you called it there, who, as you said, who was leading the Drivers' Championship? Just to refresh your memory.
I believe Brander is leading the Drivers' Championship.
You are right on, sir. You win the award.
But who won last week?
Yeah, he's got 63 points with 2 podiums and 2 wins. So he is on. And Shiv, as you can see, running P4, is the next man.
Did he win last week?
He has 1 win. And let me check about when
that
he
had
won.
to have been last week, as Big Poppy improves by nearly 0.4 of a second. And that puts him up into P6 quite comfortably. Great job from him. If you might notice, multi-sub, since you've been subscribing for 1 month, you have a nice little photo or emblem, loyalty emblem. That's a Williams. So I don't know. I need to check to see what I have. I think I might. I can't tell actually what I have.
See, I think you need to have a crown, all right, because you are the king.
I'm trying to remember what you get for 3 months. I think maybe it's a Renault. Or Ferrari, probably, for being honest.
3 of them there. You have a little sword there, a first, and a crown.
It's discouraging. I was hoping to get a Ferrari at least.
The trifecta of all 3, not to mention all the extra crowns that you should be getting for all the extra work that
As qualifying is coming to an end, it looks like we only have a few drivers here. Addy Striker just rounding the final corner and improves by 0.4, but that is just outside of P5 from Santiago. So very, very tight there. And
yeah, Yoda was asking, isn't Father from Division 1? I believe Father was racing in Division 1.
Yes, he is. He is Yoda. But we do allow certain, what's the right way to put this? Yeah, he's reserving tonight. We do allow certain drivers, depending on their time. Drivers are put into a division by first what day they can race. So Sriracha makes that's Saturday's his best day, but I guess he occasionally has a few Sundays as well to reserve, and his time is competitive enough to be, although he is a bit faster, maybe he's put in a bit more practice than normal.
He's also a father as well.
Yes,
and you do not mess with the
yes.
with our yeah. So look at this. Anybody going to improve any more right now? Obviously qualifying over. Who is on a hot lap?
I'm looking to see. I don't see anybody on the hot lap
Maybe
as of right now.
No.
Nope. Only Synth is he's pitting. So I do believe that will be the end of quali as we see it.
So do you think these drivers are going to jump out of the car, grab a few shots of vodka, jump back in and get ready to line up for the race? Or is that just me?
That's just you. I thought you drank tequila.
Well, we are in Russia, right?
Yeah, of course.
And you drive in Russia.
Ruska.
You don't drive in Russia. Russia drives for you.
I tell you, Vug, I was in Russia in 2018 for the World Cup. Very fun trip.
Oh, wow. That's all. Yeah, go ahead.
I will say, it is amazing. Vodka is cheaper than water.
Interesting.
Good vodka is very cheap.
How much water, or AKA other water, did you consume when you were in Russia?
How much water did I consume in Russia?
Yeah, especially during the World Cup as well.
Probably not as much as I should.
Hey, were you there for so where did you watch many games during the World Cup?
Yeah, I was at. I mean, the one reason. I mean that I was at the Russia-Spain game when Russia beat Spain. I believe that was the round of 16. I believe
I think Russia went
that was
far.
a crazy game to be at, and if you want a good rendition of the national anthem, that was definitely the place to be. So, but we'll talk about that more in a moment. Let's take a quick look at the final qualifying standings. Sriracha and Brander are the front row. AJ, Shiv, Santiago, Addy, Big Poppy, Multi-Sub, Javier, and ACC4 Loss are your top 10. Synth, Steven, Itchy Soup, True Knight, Giant, Zola, and Venom and Muniz are the bottom 8 drivers. They get a free choice of tire. Venom and Muniz had quality bans, did not set a fast lap. So that is the grid. I believe it should be a good fight here off the front row, and then a good tight battle here with the top 4, top 5 all are competitive. It's going to be interesting to see how those quality setups work in the race. We will be back in one moment with the Russian Grand Prix. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Russian Grand Prix. We are here in Sochi. This is Division 3.2. This beautiful Sunday evening. It's a bright sunny day. Let's take a look at the track. It is 5.8 kilometers or 3.6 miles if you're American. 18 turns, 2 DRS zones, long start-finish straight. Not much elevation change, a little bit in turn 15 and 17 in Sector 3. You have a bit of change in the elevation through there. Overall, a fairly flat circuit. The drivers are on the grid, perfecting their final setups, their tire choice, and of course, how much fuel they'll use. We'll see if we have a safety car on the first lap, as we will now go to the track. Looks like recommended tires is a soft medium is possible, or a soft hard as well. So either one is an option, and there you have the white, navy, and red flag of Russia. Well, Biggles, what would you expect from this race? Do you think we'll have a safety car pretty quickly?
Well, I hope so, because I've actually kidnapped the Bernard driver. So, well, don't. Oops, I think I should have said that out loud. But yeah, I want a chance to lead a Formula One Grand Prix. So if I can get that safety car out, that will be absolutely thrilling. And yes, if I do happen to brake check you guys in the safety car, don't blame me and don't go complain to the stewards. But yeah, they're probably, maybe, I don't know. These guys are pretty good with racing. So, and I did not see, even in the last race earlier as well, too, in the earlier event, late night racing, believe it or not, no safety cars and no virtual safety cars, and only 2 retirements at the very end. So perhaps this could be a run of...
I hope so, because Belgium was a bit of a nightmare in that regard. Turn 1 is always, and a Rouge providing, plus that track seems to be very tricky. The tire, you lose grip, it's very easy to lose traction into the wall you go. So a number of safety cars and a good number of DNFs last week. Hope for better. There's a long start finish straight though here into turn 2, although basically turn 1, and that will potentially provide a bit of unnecessary excitement, but we shall see as the drivers are now lining up. I'll get to your question, Multi-Sub, once we get further in the race. Remind me if I don't answer. But as it is, the drivers are now lining up on the grid, and we will be starting the Russian Grand Prix in a moment. I'm just here in the booth, but my heart rate goes up just a bit. Like every time I'm in the car, it's even more exciting as the lights are going on. We have 5 lights. They go off, and there they go. AJ got a bit of a jump, and he has to slow down now because of that. And side by side, the Racing Points and Williams go. A bit of action further back. Drivers 3 wide further back, and the Williams and Racing Points right through together, going a bit wide, but staying clean so far. Let's look further back down the grid. I don't see too much carnage as the Haas is going around the Renault. The Renault is going very, very slowly on the inside part of the track, and the Mercedes is trying to challenge the... Well, the Renault is fighting back as well, and the Alfa Romeo as well. As we have a McLaren, I believe that is Synth. The McLaren takes a bit of a spin. That is a yellow flag, not a virtual safety car. It's a virtual safety car. We have not a full safety car, a virtual safety car. I think he's still in the race, but he took a bit of a dive into the wall coming out of that corner. And what an exciting start to the race.
Absolutely exciting, as you said that too. We'll have to be visiting the medics. However, he would be definitely okay. But P18, but still in the race there. Big gainers there. You see that too from Xavier there. Big Puppy. Xavier up 4 places. Big Puppy up 3. And Santiago up 2.
His front wing is completely gone. That is not the start he would have wanted. I don't know if there was any contact or not. I did not see it. I just saw him go into the wall. It might have been on his own accord. But in any case, we have a virtual safety car, and we will start racing here momentarily. Obviously, that delta is also critical here. Do not want to get a drive-through penalty, as it looks like we are now back up to green. And let's go on board with Father Sriracha, who got a great jump here on Brander 6 and is right on his tail. Although he is ghosted momentarily. I'm not 100% sure. Well, that's the case. I believe that is a bit with the game as he goes to the outside of Brander 6 and easily takes the lead of this race. That long start-finish straight with that slipstream has great effect, but he's now on the inside. Brander 6 is fighting back himself. We'll on board here, Santiago, his teammate. Side by side they go, giving each other a little bit of space, though. Sriracha is still ghosted, and Brander 6 takes back that lead. Let's go further. There he goes. Well, now we're having a bit more. As Brander 6 is into the wall, that damages his front wing. That's a horrible moment for the Williams driver. His left side of his wing is completely gone, and he will be easy prey for all the drivers behind him, and he's going to need to go back into the pits as quickly as possible. You can just see all the drivers queuing up to take advantage of his demise. And they stream down the long start-finish straight. Though, of course, that damaged wing doesn't hurt you too much, as we have 4 cars all bunched up into each other. The Mercedes getting a little bit wonky with the rear, keeping clean so far. The Alfa Romeo then takes along with that. And the Renault trying to go up the inside, thinks better of it, and decides to hang back, sliding in behind the Mercedes as well. Ferrari of Addy Stryker is getting a bit involved as Brander does go into the pits. And that's a very disappointing. He was the man to challenge Sriracha at the start of this race. As you can see, they had great pace together. But that bit of a lapse, I don't know what exactly was going on. He seemed to just lose his attention and hit the wall, because that is a bit tricky section of track. That wall does extend out toward the curbs, so maybe he was riding the curbs and didn't realize what was going on, and it took him by surprise.
Spoken like a true driver. The wall comes out to the car, right? Not you. Not the car arrives into the wall.
Absolutely. On a racetrack, immovable objects are inconveniences. That was a good bit of shot there by Addy Stryker that you can see there. You can see how that wall comes out, and on this corner as well. So if you're not being careful, there is runoff space at the corner, but you have to quickly re-enter the track. Otherwise, you will hit that wall quite significantly.
Oh, you mean the wall hits you?
Yes, that's a good point. The wall jumps out and hits your car.
Well, AJ's lost a little bit. He's compromised and oversteered. And AJ is trying to avoid that wall that keeps collapsing closer and closer on him, as you just mentioned.
Go on board here with Shiv. Had a little bit of look at Big Poppy. but is sliding in behind. Lots of good tight racing now between a lot of drivers. He is right on the back of Big Papi. He is driving the wheels off of that Alfa Romeo, and the Red Bull is doing his best to stay in the lead through this tricky section of track. Dirty air does play a huge effect. It is a bit lower speed, so it's not as significant as in the high-speed corners, but he will have a great run here down the start-finish straight as he gets a bit wonky with the rear, but there's a whole row of cars all on top of each other, streaming down, trying to take this go on board here with Shiv. It looks like he will have DRS closing up on Big Papi. A bit tentative into the braking zone, I will say. He could have committed a bit more, as Brander 6 does get a 3-second. And the Mercedes of AJ joins the fight as well as Shiv goes wide, loses a position because of that. AJ got much better traction out of that, and he will, out of that, around that corner, turn 3. And AJ is the driver who is now lining up Big Papi. So I don't think Shiv was expecting that. He was driving along, trying to take a little bit of an alternative route around that corner to avoid the dirty air, but AJ just had a great exit in from turn 2 and went up his inside.
And certainly, exactly, you call it there. So Big Papi now is the Big Papi chain. You look at all those drivers behind it. They're all within DRS range, all within almost half a second there. You look at it. Multi-Sub, Addy Striker, Luzi, all these drivers all down there, all ready to pounce.
ACC4 loss and Addy Striker are battling it out. Both teammates need to be careful, obviously, as Addy Striker touches the wall, goes wide. I don't know if he got damaged. Looks like he's okay, but he got a bit scrapey with the paint, and I don't think that will buff out quite as easily as the mechanics in the garage will want it to be, and that will put him in behind True Knight, who I was expecting a bit more from True Knight, if I'm being perfectly honest. As we have a yellow, it looks like Itchy Soup is the driver having trouble. Let's go on board here with him. Nope, not Itchy Soup. It's Zola. It looks like Zola was into the wall and has his front wing, so maybe he escaped damage, but that will drop him well back away from the pack for the moment. Let's go on board back here with Shiv. He and Big Papi are still battling out. Shiv does get the move. AJ got past him on the start-finish straight, and the Renault of Multi-Sub joins into the fray. And Multi-Sub, although active in the chat, is now driving quite well for the Renault and makes up a position quite well there. And Big Papi is now under attack from HC4 loss. Multi-Sub is putting Shiv under tremendous pressure. So the cork in the bottle has been passed for a number of these drivers, and Big Papi will try to maintain track position as best he can, but the drivers in front now have room to battle it out. And Santiago is doing quite well, I will say. As this go on board here with AJ, who has a great run on Javier down the long back straight through turn 11 and through turn 12 into the braking zone. He has the lead, and he's up into P3, so Javier loses a position.
Mercedes power there. I'm quite surprised that Multi-Sub isn't twitching on his phone that's attached to the steering wheel. Maybe he has to focus on racing right now. He's squabbling out there between Shiv, Big Papi, and
Maybe
Luisi.
so, as you can just see that long train of vehicles all now behind Shiv. So Big Papi was the cork in the bottle. Now Shiv is the big cork in the bottle. And I was saying Santiago is doing well to keep in touch with Sriracha, but it looks like in this last lap he lost a bit of his time and has dropped further back. But just looking at 15, Zola, Brander, Itchy Soup, both those AlphaTauris are praying a safety car will come out and give them a bit of help, as we see a number of drivers exceeding track limits and most definitely picking up warnings for that, as Shiv is now right on the back of Javier, so he is another driver suffering potentially with tire wear.
And Luisi as well is ready to make a pounce on Big Papi. So many battles on track.
Let's go on board here with ACC4 losses. Itchy Soup does pick up a time penalty, and you just see all these cars within the exact same section of track, all led by Javier. And great battles. Unfortunately, it's hard to be on board with all the correct ones. Back up board here with Shiv. It looks like he has the best opportunity now with DRS assistance. Javier already taking to the inside, moving back to the outside. Although inside and outside does switch a good bit on the circuit. He will have the inside in the braking zone for the corner that counts. And Javier has a bit of a touch from the back by Shiv, going a bit slower than expected. as he came across, had the lead in the braking zone, had that corner, but with that inside line was compromised on his exit with that wall there, obviously. You don't want to hit that, just like Albon most famously did last year.
And lap 7 of 27. So far, everybody's still in the race, even though we had some early little minor incidents.
And Javier is, I don't know what's happened to Javier, if he is going extremely slowly, had a horrible exit out of turn 1, and multi-sub entity trying to get a move on, as there's a bit of a touch with Shiv. I'm trying to see, Shiv is all right, but Big Poppy is now getting involved, and multi-sub is passing. AC4 loss is in there as well. Everyone's passing everyone as a result of that contact, both drivers being as careful as they could, but it's a tight corner to go side by side through, and a little bit of contact pushed Shiv further back, lost a bit of traction. He has already lost, I believe, 4 positions from that incident, so he won't be happy about that. I think his front wing is all right. We'll check that momentarily. He looks like he's in fine form with that, but Big Poppy is a big gainer there, just makes the move as multi-sub and Shiv get a bit handsy with one another, and he's back where he was.
You can run down as far as True Night, and you can see this battle up ahead. All these cars are bunched up. If I could show you the telemetry map right now, you'd be like, it looks like one big dot glued together, but that's not one big dot. That's essentially 6 cars, all line of stern, and you can see just how close they really are driving around here, and also driving so responsibly and so controlled. All
the way down to P11, so P4 to P11, we have, how many cars is that? 8 cars, as Javier is into the pit, so he's had enough of that. He is into the pits to change his tires, 19 laps to go. We'll see how that goes. Multi-sub is very, very close. I don't know if he'll have the run with ACD4 loss. Big Poppy doesn't have the DRS as he's leading this train, and as such is able to stay in the lead for now, but he's under tremendous pressure from ACD4 loss. Big Poppy gluing to that inside line as best he can, and then coming back out a bit to defend the inside line for the next corner, and doing quite well, that Red Bull. Kudos to him.
Arcraft just asked on Twitch, he's like, he just joined the lap 7. He's like, how many safety cars has there been? Guess what, Arcraft? 0, as per the previous race. So we could be on a absolute
don't commentate or curse anybody right now. Don't say anything. I'm gonna have to. Do I have to go over there and gag?
Zip it.
Pull out the gag.
Oh no, there's a car off. Who's that? Addy Striker.
Addy Striker.
Oh no, don't do it to us, Addy Striker. Don't bring the safety car out, sir.
Nope, he looks like he won't, but his front wing is basically demolished. We'll take a good look at that. All the carbon fiber on track. That might have brought out a safety car normally, but just a yellow for now.
Oh, thank you, Addy. Don't curse us. We're on a roll right now. This could be the first Sunday ever without a safety car.
As AJ gets past Santiago for P2, another yellow flag. Looking to see who that might be from. Probably is still from Addy Striker, struggling to stay on the track without that front wing. And then looking to see... that, in fact, is True Night. True Night lost his car and is backing out of the racing line. His teammate is sweeping through, trying to be careful as he can to rejoin the circuit. Does not have damage, though.
He's got some problems with his car, but he's trying to get it back on track.
His tires are most definitely overheated, and he'll go into the pits to get those taken. Yeah, he's definitely struggling for traction. Those overheating tires are very, very difficult to deal with. But so far...
If you want to get a night chip, you have to prove it by getting some points positions this evening.
I didn't know night chips were on the order.
If you're a knight, perhaps. Talk to the queen.
Maybe that's what we should give some honorary night chips to our subscribers. That might be fair.
I love you, Ezzy. You are totally the...
That's tequila talking.
Which one we have up here, all right?
That's tequila talking.
That's the tequila talking. Well, who's talking right now with their engines in full power on track? Multi-sub, gaining a little bit on Big Puppy. It's probably the closest battle I can see there. Also, Shiv running very, very closely behind Lizzie. So we say. Both cars are red. However, one's a Ferrari and one is an Alfa Romeo.
Indeed. As Giants is the Renault is doing quite well. Both the Renault drivers are doing quite well. Obviously a tough start to the season, but Giants is keeping his nose clean for now. As multi-sub, as Santiago, I will say, is now into the pits in lap 10. And we should be probably seeing a number of pitting here soon, as Shiv has a good run on ACT4 loss. Doesn't have the space to make the move into turn 2. Will follow in behind and wait for that next DRS zone. But let me, while we're on board with him, let me take a moment to pull up the... I'm trying to...
What do you need? I can pull it up for you. And
no.
actually, I'm actually showing you. Said it shows me as Louisi in P5, but it's actually on. I can see on the Twitch feed it says AC4 loss.
Let's just take a look at the tires. Looks like some are going on hards, few on mediums, and the top 8 are still on those softs. So that's something to keep a track of later throughout this race. But this Ferrari-powered battle is very, very tight. And Shiv has DRS now. ACT4 loss is just outside of a second for the car in front. Leaves space to the inside line there. I don't think he meant to, but ended up doing so just because of how tight that corner is as you're going. Well, it's not necessarily tight, but it's tight because you're going at such full speed. And Shiv has that position. Bitty little flag coming out from driver ahead, but that has
the
now
leader's
gone
boxing.
away.
The leader is boxing. So, but he's going to come out probably behind this battle, as we're looking at about 22 seconds for a pit stop, or 23 seconds. And currently at the moment, these guys are running 13, 14, 15 seconds behind the leader.
All right. As multi-sub now has the lead of the race as everyone else pits. And I was just informed that ACT4 loss is pronounced accounting for loss, which either leads me to the question, is he an accountant? Or why would you call yourself accounting for loss? Wouldn't you want to be accounting for a win? Ah, he is an accountant. So I was correct. That's a very clever name.
It's
And,
too early. It's too early to be calling that, is he?
Sorry?
Yeah, it's too early to be calling all those bad puns. I leave those bad puns up to me.
It wasn't a bad pun at all. I was just saying. I wonder if he's a tax accountant. He's
accounting for
if
a
he's
loss.
accounting for a loss, he must be the type of accountant that people don't like having around. But
he's not a lawyer.
well, I say that, but we're happy that he's in the league, most definitely. So I won't say anything beyond that. Apologies, I was just trying to joking around.
No, it's cool. It's absolutely great.
Let's go on board here with Brander 6 up into P9 on those hard tires, and he is closing the gap to Javier, trying to be right behind his teammate. As P White, now thank you very much for the follow, we appreciate it. This is an American league. We are based in the United States of America, and I'm from the great state of Texas myself. But we have a number of drivers from Europe. We have a couple drivers from South America, so we definitely are a bit of an international league as well with our drivers, but race times
And we have
are...
the top 4. We have the top 4 drivers all boxing at the same time. So Jeff's call, box. All the teams are doing that.
Yep. We do have a couple of Aussie drivers in here as well. Biggles is an Aussie himself, although he is not currently in that country.
I'm in the Americas, sir. I'm in the Americas.
He's in the Americas. Ah! We have all kinds of accountants in here. Unbelievable. We might need your services. So I'll keep you in mind. As side by side, Brander 6 and Javier. Brander 6 going a bit off track there. Javier might take advantage as Big Papi also gets involved, coming up the inside, but I don't think an overtake is very likely through here. Trying to go around the outside. Big Papi does do so. And let's go on board back here with Javier. Side by side. And Big Papi, just a bit of a touch. And Multi-Sub is also getting involved here. So all those drivers that pitted are now battling it back out again. So the pits didn't spread the field out at all.
Look at this, behind Brander, P5, P4, P5, P6, P7, and P8 with AJ. And also catching the back of them as well is a set for loss or whatever. It's not showing that on my screen. But yeah, look at this squabble. And we're on lap 12 of 27. And still, everybody is in the race. Let's not curse this one.
As AJ and Big Papi Multi-Sub are all getting spicy. And AJ, trying around the outside, has had to slow down. Multi-Sub with the ideal lines, able to carry a bit more speed. AJ will have to hang on for now. And Javier is the cork in that bottle that we spoke of. Brander got past him. Up into P4 already, so good driving from him. Though he might have to pit again. He is on the hards. We'll see if those are able to last, as AJ has to get on the brakes a bit more than he wanted, as Multi-Sub was taking a look at the gearbox of Big Papi. Multi-Sub is now under severe pressure. Both have DRS, though, but coming out of that slipstream, giving a bit of a squeeze. All fair and legal as it is for now, and side by side they go. Trying to go around the outside is AJ, and he has that, and counting for loss. Thank you, chat. He is getting involved as well.
And let's a little shout out to Stevie. That's Stevie Gaming, also on Twitch. But Stevie, let's look at him running in P3. Just lost a position because he is on 12 laps of medium tires. Currently running 2 seconds a lap slower than everybody else. So, Stevie, you need to be on the radio talking to Jeff about when your pit stop strategy is going to be occurring soon.
Interesting. We'll give him a bit of TV time for now, as AJ, though, is on the inside of Big Papi. Everyone on the medium tires, and Multi-Sub getting involved. All these drivers, as AJ is using up all that ERS. Big Papi must have had a great exit. He gets, well, a poor exit, I will say, as he gets squeezed, and Multi-Sub trying to do 2 overtakes in one corner, a bit of a contact as he loses the rear. Touches AJ a bit. I hope it does not hurt his front wing at all. Good attempt there. Nope, he looks like to be fine, but great attempt by Multi-Sub, trying to go around the outside of 2 drivers there into one corner. Gets one done, but unable to get it stuck on AJ, and he'll have to wait for a bit, as let's go for now accounting for loss. He does not get a good exit, and is going to, though he'll have DRS, is still behind this group, still catching on to Big Papi. Big Papi must have a higher downforce setup. That's the only thing I can assume is happening here, because he seems to be doing well in sectors, well, the start of Sector 2 and in Sector 3, but those long DRS straights, he is struggling for pace, and he's easily been overtaken by
Do you think he filed his
drivers.
tax returns?
Sorry?
Do you think he filed his tax returns?
I don't know, I did.
He's accounting for loss. Perhaps he's accounting for the loss of the speed he has right now, but he's certainly keeping on the back of Big Papi. And also up ahead, you can see that Multi-Sub. So don't mess with your tax accountant.
Nope. Maybe he'll, trying to think of, my mind isn't working right now. I'll come up with some good efforts later on. I'll need a moment to think on it.
AJ's got one as he gets past. It looks like Xavier. Bingo, job done. Is that a move past? That's the Mercedes driver, and it looks like going to be all over the back of Brander right now in the Williams. So Mercedes versus Williams. We kind of have seen this before in the past. How's this going to end up?
Let's go on board here with AJ to catch the action. He has the faster tire. That should help him out. And we might go further back, as it looks like actually we'll go back to Big Papi. He is getting that position back on Multi-Sub. Multi-Sub doesn't have that DRS, and that is a huge advantage. How much ever more downforce you might be carrying, doesn't matter if you get that DRS. In fact, it helps you generally with DRS. The more downforce you're carrying, the DRS advantage is even better. And now he takes up into P7.
Arcroft says on Twitch, like maybe he'll try to deduct some time from the timesheet. The standard deduction.
That's pretty good. I like that.
He called that one.
That's very good. That is very, very good, as Multi-Sub is getting involved as well. Unable to get that position back, though, but this is going to be a spicy battle for P7 through the end of this race, as Brander 6 has been overtaken now by AJ and is down to P5, so those tires are definitely a disadvantage, but he's done well to fight back to the position he is now. Maybe with DRS, might have a look. Let's go on board with him. Oh, we have a safety car.
Oh, no.
We have a safety car.
No.
It's Itchy Soup.
It's
It is
Itchy.
Itchy Soup. Let's see if we can spot the carnage. There he is on the left-hand side of the track. He is quite into the wall. That's a lot of work for the AlphaTauri
Itchy, why did you do
mechanics.
that? I was just about to call. We had all 18 stocks, and we were almost going to be happy with all 18 stocks of this Formula One race.
As Brander, I was about to say, Brander is one that will take advantage of this. Steven as well. So a number of drivers are doing quite well now. They will go into the pits, get a fairly cheap stop, and be able to maintain, though they are coming down, falling a good deal still, just because of how tightly that pack was jammed together. But they won't mind that at all. They'll come out with fresh tires with 10 laps to go and have a good chance to compete with these big boys. Brander 6 now just exiting the pits, it looks like.
The first Alliant Motorsports safety car of the day. We almost got it through, almost as we approached halfway through the race. Almost got a whole complete day of racing without a safety car, but it's inevitable, and now it gives his drivers to talk to Jeff and change their strategy around a little bit, and we can see what happens. His father is still in the lead of this race.
So it looks like Muniz, Javier, Brander, and Steven all have fresh tires. Some choosing for the softs, some choosing for the mediums. Different interesting choice, maybe depending on who had fresh tires of which. And they'll catch up with the safety car. This will allow, I was saying Zola helps out, Addy Striker as well, True Knight, all those guys in the bottom 5 are very happy a safety car comes out because they were well back of the pace. And Sriracha probably is displeased as well. He had a good little gap going and is now, that evaporates. And we are almost guaranteed some exciting action for the final 10 laps.
You let me know too. I'm driving the safety car right now. I told you. I was ready. I'm prompted. I jumped in it. I got out there. That's the Mercedes. Mercedes is leading the race right now, even though it's showing farther behind, but he is not. I'm actually leading the race. And I am driving a Mercedes.
You're doing quite well. I'm watching you through turn 17 now and turn 18. Good lines. So keep up the good work.
I do. I practice this.
So
should I
Artcraft.
brake check Santiago, or should I not brake check him? I don't want to brake check him.
Well, Sriracha would. I mean, he could use a little wing damage. Might equalize the field. Though Sriracha says he was in practicing all week for Russia, so that might be the reason why he has good pace. He's been putting in the hours. Artcraft though spotted something. He says that he saw Biggles toss something on the track in front of Itchy Soup into that corner, causing the safety car. So a bit of a conspiracy already forming as to the cause of the safety car.
I recycle, sir. I do not throw my trash on the track. I recycle it. I put the glass in the glass container. I put plastic in the plastic container.
We shall see about that.
Anyway, let me know when you want me to bring that safety car in, okay? So
how about this lap?
All right. Well, let me just check with the bosses upstairs.
Big Lovins wonders if you have a burrito. I don't think we're in Mexico. We're in Russia. It's probably vodka, in the other hand, if we're being honest.
Well, I have tequila, but I can't when I'm driving. I can't. Let me bring the safety car in first, and then I can drink.
Yeah. Yes, the safety car is brought to you by Heineken. When you drink, never drive. Okay? So, apologize for that insensitive joke.
I'm sure Father right now is thinking, can I pass the Biggles? Can I pass the Biggles? Well, I don't know. Try it, Father. See if you can get past me. We'll see what happens with the stewards. Yes,
Brander did pit. He had some old hards on, or no, maybe he had older mediums. He had either older mediums or older hards. I don't think he was going to make them to the end anyway, so he pitted for a fresh set of tires. That should give him some pace. I expect him to, be well into the points by the end of the race if he can keep his nose clean.
So let's go down the order here. The guys that have changed onto the red compound tire, which is the softs as we all know now, P10, Stevie. He's going to have some pace up the restart there, as well as behind him Munz and Brander also choosing the
Is the
first.
Safety car in? I believe the safety car may be in.
Well, let me know. I'll bring it in if you want.
Yep, yeah. You're supposed to be going into the pits again.
All right, let's do it.
So better do that, please.
Race on.
As AJ needs to close back up. I don't know what's going on with AJ. He is well back. for
All right,
some
I'm in the
reason.
box.
Oh, maybe.
Give them the go ahead, play, Ezzy.
All right. And yep, they're going. They're racing. So I don't know what happened with Big Poppy. He was well back there with AJ. Bit of a collision, I think. So 4 seconds back from the action. Shocking bit of etiquette there. I do believe there was a bit of confusion with Big Poppy and AJ. Maybe a bit of contact as they're wheel to wheel though into turn 2. We'll see how that action unfolds. It looks like Big Poppy has P3 for now. Multi-sub getting involved 3 wide in around turn 3. AJ has a bit of the lead. Multi-sub is following in behind, blocking up that right front. That tire's not going to be happy. It's a brand new tire, I think. But he has the line and taking a sniff at AJ, locking up again. He's going through that tire like it's going out of style. But AJ up into P3, multi-sub, losing a position. It looks like accounting for loss, also losing a position. But he has a great run on Big Poppy here at the moment. Thought about going around the outside, thinks better of it, and he will fold back in. Wait for that. Well, DRS won't be activated quite yet, but it's still a long straight.
Big Lovins driving the safety car with one hand on the wheel and one hand on the burrito. Yeah, as you said before. No, sorry, sir. Henners.
As Steven is fighting back, Brander 6, you would have thought with his great pace and those softs would be doing better, but he is losing a position to Steven, who also has a fresh set of tires, so good driving from him. But, whoa!
Oh!
That was Giants. That was Giants.
Giants.
And Steven got a bit of contact there from a number of drivers as he tried to avoid the Giants, who had a bit of a spin. It looks like his front wing is okay there, but I don't know if someone could clip that so we could maybe see what happened in slower motion, but that was a bit of a wild moment. As Shiv...
He had a giant moment, and right now he's ready to pounce on Zoltar.
As he gets past Zola, indeed. I was about to say both Reynolds are doing quite well, but with that incident, Giants spins. That has been a bit of a theme for him, as accounting for loss tries to go down the inside of Shiv, but moves out of that and is once again... Whoa! Javier missed his braking point completely, and accounting for loss did brilliantly well to avoid that maniac. And that was a great bit of dodging from the accountant. And he stays in P7.
Up a little bit on that one.
And Brander 6 now right on his tail, though, but must have a higher downforce set because accounting for losses, he's able to pull ahead from that as Shiv and Big Poppy are having a go. Shiv does get big past Big Poppy. Accounting for loss has a look. Brander 6 now has a look as well. Up the inside, will he try on Big Poppy as well? No, he doesn't. That's a slow corner, not too wise to go too deep. And accounting for... Big Poppy gets a bit of a touch there by Brander. Brander should give that position back. That is not very sporting of him, I will say. But Big Poppy loses several positions there with that contact. 3 positions, in fact. And Big Poppy, who was in a podium position earlier on, is now struggling. And Brander 6, who was well back, is now wheel-to-wheel with Shiv with those soft tires. He has the DRS and the pace and the racing line, and he moves up into P5 and will look to fight back.
You forgot the tires. He has the tires. Softs.
Yeah, those softs. I know there's questions about him pitting, but those softs are doing quite a trick. And that accounting for loss, lost several positions there.
Yeah, Croft called
that action.
But all this action here, look at this battle. P8, P9, P10, P12, P11. I forgot the 10. Big squabble at the back there.
Aircraft, torpedo launched, target missed. Yeah. That's what you get for those Russian-made torpedoes.
Yeah.
Somehow all torpedoes are Russian-made, it seems, in Formula One.
Well, we'll see if Mans can launch that torpedo to get past that Ferrari, as he's super close there. As
Brander 6 does get past multi-sub and up into P4 already. So he is doing brilliantly. That safety car really saved his race. Able to switch to a better tire and is now fighting for a podium position momentarily here. Muniz is being a bit cautious here behind, accounting for loss. And Big Poppy now also getting involved as well. So we'll have a bit of a DRS strain. Accounting for loss will definitely is just outside of a second there of Javier, and that's going to hurt him a big deal now, as he will not have DRS, and Muniz should have a good shot here at the overtake into P8. But is really trying to, but that must, I don't know if it's set up or what it is, but that Ferrari is much faster on the track. I don't know if they brought back that cheating engine, but I think you're unofficial. But you already are seeing a huge
Italian Ferrari, that's for sure.
No, you can already tell that these softs are much better tires now versus what Accounting for Loss has. I'm not sure if he has mediums or hards. It might be.
He's accounting for a loss.
He might be those white-walled hards, and he's doing his very best to defend and hang on to his P8. As Santiago gets past AJ, though AJ is fighting back with that DRS, carrying tremendous speed, and he will have P2 once more. So Santiago falling back, and now Brander 6, his teammate in the Williams driver, is right on his tail. Woo! Santiago's struggling. He is very much struggling, going wide in a lot of these corners, and I think he's going to let his teammate pass. He knew he had no chance to defend. Plus, he'll get DRS down this straight, which will be a huge advantage to him. And Brander now is a 1.5 second gap to close up to AJ and get back up near those top steps. Let's go on board here with... trying to go on board with Synth, but it's not letting me do it. There it goes.
Because you have to get approval from the Russian government.
Where they, as Addy Striker now is fighting with Big Poppy. Big Poppy, since that bit of a contact, is really losing the positions. A bit of a touch, and Synth will be the one to take advantage of that. Already past Addy Striker, wheel to wheel with Big Poppy. Round they go, the softs, providing the grip he needs to go around the outside there, but just isn't able to carry that speed through the braking zone. And Big Poppy hangs on to P10 that point, but he goes wide. He goes wide, just makes it back on track as that wall does leap out at you. And Synth is unable to take advantage of that. Let's go on board here with Shiv. Multi-sub in P5, doing quite well. As Shiv gets a bit excited, has to correct that bit of oversteer. But he is right on the back. There's 5 laps to go. Since the safety car, these laps have been flying by. And I think he's going to wait for the long DRS straight to have a good run.
Look at the Williams, Brander on back of AJ, battling out for P2.
They were 1.5 seconds a moment ago, but the tire difference is astounding. And he will bide his time here. I think the DRS straight will provide the need. The thing I'm looking at is, can Brander, it's 5 seconds from Brander to Sriracha. Can he close that gap with 5 laps to go?
Shiv does the multi 21 and gets past multi and moves up into P5.
And Brander has tremendous speed, easily past AJ, and is now into P2 for now. So incredible. Yep. Let's go back on board here with Javier. A good battle here with Shiv and Multi-Sub. All 3 of them have been changing positions. Shiv did overtake Multi-Sub just a moment ago. Multi-Sub taking that back. And accounting for loss now is right on the back there of Javier. Oh, accounting for loss. Loses the rear. That will hurt him as Muniz is now... Well, Muniz was trying to go past and then backs out for whatever reason. Right on his back is Muniz. And that was a great recovery there. Yeah, I think he... yeah.
Do I have to be a bearer of bad news on lap 23 or 27 with the penalties?
Do tell.
Oh, okay. So we're looking at the father is leading comfortably as well, 0 penalties, but Brandon has 6 seconds, and he is closely followed by AJ with 3. Santiago has 3. Multi-Sub has 3. 9 seconds for the P6 driver there, Xavier. So, and the time penalty, the FedEx. Actually, no, that's FedEx time penalty award driver at the moment will go to, driver in P9 at the moment, which is
Muniz. Good to know. So, very interesting. I was about to say that maybe Accounting for Loss is threatening to audit Shiv, as he is right on his tail. That wasn't as good as I was hoping.
That was good. That was good.
Synth retires, yellow flag only, which is very glad to hear. But Shiv and Multi-Sub and Javier are fighting it out. Multi-Sub thinking about a move down the inside, a bit of a lockup, a bit of a touch. But good racing between them. We've seen great racing, I will say, except for that bit of a torpedo by Javier earlier on, which was as Multi-Sub loses it. Is he into the wall? I don't know. He'll lose positions, though. And that is the sad downside that can happen. Let's go on Multi-Sub. Does he have damage? Yes, he's missing his right end plate, so with 3 laps to go, we'll have to survive. Muniz will definitely be on his tail. But that is an incredible bit, just losing the rear, and his race goes from outstanding to one of survival.
Well, and our craft had just said before, too, there, from accounting for loss there, he's accounting for tire wear. Interesting.
Yep. Thank you much, West Road, for the raid. Much appreciated. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoy the stream. As we are set for a lot of last few lap action. We have 2 laps to go, and this midfield battle has never been tighter. It looks like Shiv and Javier are finally having that go that they want at each other. Shiv already well past. ACT4 loss now, looking to get 2 overtakes done in one, as Giants is now out of the race. He is retired, but Javier doing quite well to stay just ahead of Accounting for Loss. That's such a long name to say. That's my one complaint. It's hard to say that name.
Look at this, 25 of 27. Look at the action on track. Absolutely.
Muniz is right on the back of Multi-Sub and does get that overtake. Well, I say done, but will he able to hang on? A bit twitchy with the rear. Multi-Sub is saying, thank you very much. I can take that back in a good battle here for P8. And Muniz now going around the outside as well, as Multi-Sub had to slow more than he might have wanted. And then Multi-Sub going up the inside one more time into the braking zone. Will he stay around the outside with that broken wing? Yes, he will. And he are breakneck. Who will have DRS? I do not know. Let me see. It looks like Muniz. Looks
Big
like
Poppy as well in there.
And Big Poppy is getting involved. And Muniz has to defend now against Big Poppy. And Addy Striker is sweeping through around the outside, as now it's hard to keep track of all the action. Big Poppy now is the loser. He was on the offensive and loses a position now to Addy Striker. And this is a tight battle for those last. There's 4 drivers and only 3-point positions left. Muniz and Addy Striker going side by side. And Addy Striker looks like he may have that position. Who will have DRS? That will be key. I think all of them will have DRS now. As they are behind Multi-Sub, who is making his escape as best as he can due to all the carnage. And Addy Striker is side by side with Muniz, but obviously Muniz has... Oh, he goes deep, though, and that has to rejoin the flat, goes around the bollard on the inside line. He hit the bollard, and Addy Striker is now having to defend against Big Poppy, taking the inside line into the braking zone. Big Poppy trying to go around the outside, unable to do so, onto the grass, loses that bit of traction. But that is a good battle further back here. And it looks like he may get that position done, as True Knight now is involved. Haas, who spun earlier in the race, now is thinking, I can get a point too, maybe. And this is intense on-track action here. Let's go on Big Poppy. Multi-Sub, with that broken wing, is doing brilliantly to defend. The more laps, only 2 laps to go, really. Well, 1 lap, actually, after this.
These are for crumbs. These are for little bits of points, but these drivers don't care. They want to get anything they possibly can. Look at this action. 5-6 cars.
Points are hard to come by. Let's go on board here with... I'm trying to go on board with True Knight, unfortunately. There it is. My apologies. Get a good view of the action here. Big Poppy getting a bit of a touch there by Addy Striker. Losing the rear, potentially. Moving now down to P11. And just think, we're on the last lap now. Well, these soon to be on the last lap. And they're so tight that all those time penalties could be very, very huge. Big Poppy now going around the outside. Addy Striker having to defend now. True Knight on those hards is doing quite well to keep up with these medium runners. Maybe that crossover of speed is happening in front of our eyes. And Branders now is a second and a half back of Sriracha up in P1. Well, as Addy Striker
Ready to strike, right?
Can
he do it?
Right on the back of Big Poppy, and Multi-Sub now is having a battle with Muniz further up ahead. Muniz finally able to get past him, and Big Poppy inside line, but will live with it as it is now. And this is all last lap action. Multi-Sub picks up another 3-second penalty, almost guaranteeing his FedEx prize for this race.
And the father out in front doesn't even get any screen time because this battle's just too exciting.
Well, that's what happens, although that gap is now down to 1 second, so time penalties could be huge for the lead of this race. And Big Poppy now side by side with Multi-Sub, almost a bit of a touch for wheels. Around the outside he goes, he makes it stick. Down the long straight, though, he has that laggy, or that grippy vehicle with that more downforce, so Multi-Sub is able to get past now, even with both having DRS, trying to... Oh! And Multi-Sub goes a bit deep, and Addy Striker slips on through. True Knight as well gets through into the action, but loses out. Big Poppy there, now in P12. True Knight not sure exactly what he needs to do, oh, my word. I apologize for that. As Big Poppy and True Knight are now battling it out for that last P11, though it doesn't really matter, although time penalties might have something to do with it. Multi-Sub picks up a penalty at the very, very end, and that is the end of the action.
Well, take a breath, Ezzy. Take some of that
Big Poppy is up into P9. True Knight in his first race is into P10, and poor Multi-Sub, the Renault, does so well. He misses out on a point by 1/10 of a second.
Ooh. Ooh. What an exciting Russian race. As I said, take some of that Russian warding, so Russia water, as the driver of the day goes to Xavier.
I'll have to take a look. Trying to think of who. I think Brander might deserve that after crashing into the wall all the way up into P2, I believe. No, we'll have to see. Nope, he is P3 with those time penalties. 6 seconds hurt him as AJ takes P2. But both Williams doing incredibly well, P3 and P4. Just look at that. Father Sriracha did quite well. No time penalties. Shiv with no time penalties. Zola with no time penalties. 3 DNFs. Let's take a look here. Sriracha, AJ, and Brander are the top 3. Santiago, Shiv, Javier, Addy Striker, accounting for loss, gets P8. Both Ferraris, P7, P8. Big Poppy, great battle there. Gets 2 points. P9, True Knight, first races in the league, gets a point in his first outing. Good for him. But nearly 15 seconds of penalties. Multi-Sub with 16. That is out incredible. Let's see. I'm trying to see how many Muni's had. 21. Yep, that's easily the FedEx time penalty award winner. Zola, Steven, Venom, Giants, Synth, and Itchy Soup are the remaining drivers. Obviously, those last 3, I believe, DNF'd, unfortunately for them. So what looked for a moment was for a great day for Renault turned out to be a nightmare for Renault. And what a bit of action, though, all the way to the very end. That on-track action for the last few points were absolutely incredible. We will be back in one moment with some interviews, so definitely stay tuned. We'll be back in 1 second. Will's quick say here as we're getting drivers into the room. If you have a certain driver you'd love to hear from, let us know in chat. If you have any questions you'd like to ask the drivers, let us know in chat. We'll try to accommodate those as best as possible, though we do have a time limit here. But what an exciting race. To let us know who you like to hear from, and let us know what questions you want us to ask. We'll try to fit those in. We'll be back in one moment. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with the interviews. We will start in a moment with Big Poppy. My goodness, you had a tremendous battle there. You were doing quite well. It seemed like you had a bit of contact potentially, or you lost the rear a couple of times there, which lost you positions, but you had a great fight there in the last few laps. Tell us all about it.
Yeah. So this week I didn't have much practice at Russia, so I just kind of hopped into the race, and I kept losing with the rear a lot. I think so. It was kind of bad. That's why I didn't do as well as I hoped. But yeah, that last lap was pretty intense. I think there's like 4 or 5 of us there battling for positions, and I think I don't know what corner it was, but it was near the end. That kind of sharp turn after the second DRS zone. I think I tried to turn and someone came out of nowhere and kind of hit me, and I dropped back even further. But I guess I moved back up after penalties. So
Yep, I believe you got P8 or P9, if I'm not mistaken. So
yeah,
good points to bring home, but that was an incredible, exciting action to genuinely witness. It was hard to keep track of everything going on. Safety car, did that hurt or help your strategy?
I don't think I pitted during the safety car, so I think it probably hurt because I think there was a couple people around me that ended up hitting, and I think they ended up passing me. So
Yep.
I'm thinking back on it. Maybe I should have pitted, but oh
Ne-
well.
Next week is Hungary. It's a bit of a twisty-turvy track. Can be difficult to overtake on. You have much practice or experience with that track?
I've played it, I think, a couple times just online lobbies, but I don't have too much experience, so I'm gonna have to practice a bunch this week if I hope to do well.
Well, best of luck next week, and thanks for the exciting on track action. And it was great fun to watch.
No worries. See you next week.
Yep. All right, let us now go to accounting for loss. I did a bit. I was saying ACC4 loss for a good bit. I was corrected by your friend in chat. As it is, I was then told I guessed you were an accountant, so I'll give some brownie points for that. But what an exciting bit of action! I will just start off with you survived. It looks like Javier tried to do a bit of an overtake on you. You did quite well to avoid his flying Haas.
Oh yeah, that dive bomb, man. Yeah, that was man. Yeah, I swerved real hard on that one. I saw him coming a little bit, and kind of just braked up real hard and let him go out into the runoff.
A bit of wise racecraft there. We saw it on stream, and his car flew out of nowhere, but very good job to avoid. Overall, how did the race go for you?
You know, this is the first one I finished without crashing, so it went pretty well. No Eau Rouge in this one, so yeah, it went pretty well. I have not been in the top 10 fighting against those guys yet, so it's a totally different race up there than in the back. So I had to adapt a little bit of my strategy that I have learned in the back.
For sure, there was a lot of close action, multiple overtakes down straights, and so on. Really incredible bit of action. I was requested to ask why. Where did you come up with your name?
Yeah, so without going too much into detail in accounting, you know, you have to do the financials and stuff, and so essentially the name means I lose a lot, so I have to win in order to level out to get a net zero of mediocre. That's the name.
So it sounds like you might work with some people on. You sound like you might work with people on the Wall Street.
I'm an auditor, so I make sure those people do what they're supposed to do. Yeah.
Aha! I knew you did some auditing. I made a reference to that in chat. So
accounting for loss can do all your books. So next time you need to get your tax returns in, hit up this man.
Yeah, when you're doing your F1 2020 career, let me know.
Sounds
Never
good.
go negative.
Well, you definitely didn't go negative today. Great race from you. Congratulations on your first finish and the exciting action on track. Best of luck next week.
Thanks.
All right, the final interview of the day is Big Sriracha, or also known as Father Sriracha, in game. A bit of a battle early on with Brander, and then you had the lead of the race. How much practice did you put in?
Not much, honestly. Last night I was I was left wanting a bit more, so I was hoping I could get into this race, and I kind of just used my good pace that I had while I was racing and put it onto Russia, and then it just all connected. I was a bit surprised by my qualifying time because I did like 2 or 3 laps on the time trials, and I was about 4 or 6 tenths slower than what I got on there, so it was kind of surprising. But then going into the race, yeah, Brander, I guess, just had the better start, and then he got the slipstream going around in, I believe, lap two. Then he just lost it going into one of those 90-degree turns. It was a bit unfortunate, but yeah, then after that, there wasn't really that much of a threat until Brander came back after being able to get the free stop on the softs. I was a bit worried, but then I talked to Jeff, and he said that he had a 9-second time penalty, so I was like, it's okay if he passes me. So I felt pretty comfortable.
How difficult were those? We saw a number of drivers having difficulty with the rear of their car as that tire wear increased late in the race. How difficult was it to maintain traction out of those high speed corners?
It wasn't too difficult. I would say the slow turn coming out of that back straight, going up the hill when you're in second gear, that was probably the toughest one. I couldn't really get it right when I was on the softs, but every other turn it wasn't really that bad. You know, sometimes in the race you just got to brake earlier than what you do in qualifying, and then the car will start coming back to you, and you'll be able to connect.
For sure, congratulations on your victory and best of luck.
Thank you.
All right. I believe that is going to be all the interviews that we have for today. Once again, thank you, West Roads, for the raid with your party. Much appreciated. Bringing your viewers to our stream. I hope you enjoyed those last laps of action. That was probably the most intense bit of commenting I had to do. My throat is a tad hoarse, I will say.
Izzy, you know what? Stay off that Russian water.
I might need some Russian water to get my to help me get to sleep because my
It must feel good to be
rate.
back in Russia. You haven't been here in a while.
Nope, 2 years. So a little over 2 years, but it's a hard place to get into. I'll tell you that much, especially as an American. But in any case, that's enough about that. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch these drivers at Russia on this Sunday evening. I know we were competing with Sunday Night Football, so for some of you that might be have two screens up. In any case,
No, we don't. Sorry, you're the only one.
okay, maybe just me. I wasn't watching. I couldn't watch with all the action I had to
Izzy, were you
bring to
watching
you.
football while you were commentating a race? Please don't tell me you're doing that. So
No,
go ahead.
I do not do that unless it's the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, now it comes out.
In any case, thank you so much, Biggles, as well, for all your hard work joining me in the booth. We have a special treat for you guys this week. This is a week where every division, Division 1, 2, and 3, will be racing on separate tracks this week. So we're bringing you all new, different action every day. Although on Tuesday, it will be Russia as well as Division 3.1. As part of Division 3, it will race on Russia. But after that, Division 2 is racing in Spain on Thursday, and Division 1 will be in Singapore. That should be an intense race, a very difficult track. So that should be some exciting on-track action to follow up this great start to the week here in Russia. Thank you guys so much once again for taking the time to follow and to subscribe. I hope you guys have a great start to the week. I know tomorrow's Monday, but that's how it is for all of us, unfortunately. In any case, make sure to tune in the rest of this week and join me once again on next Sunday here for Hungary and Division 3.2. Hope you guys have a great rest of the week and enjoy the outro music.